Hello everyone, my name, as always, is Chaos in the Sky, and welcome to a new series on the channel called How to Compete. In this series, we're going to be showing you how to play as specific characters in anime Villainous at the competitive level to help you get better at playing those specific characters that you might be having trouble with. Note that I did say we, because I'm certainly not alone on this. I am joined by my good friend and fellow Annaville team lead, Butter King. Hello, Butter.
Hello.
So we have Butter here, and what's going to happen in this video, how we're going to do it, is we're going to watch a game that Butter played at a high level against our QA member, Lark. So it is a very high level game between the two of them. And Butter and I are basically just going to commentate over this match and kind of explain to you why Butter made certain moves, what Butter was looking to do, and how he did it, basically. How he played the character at a high level and had a very good game, as you can see on the screen, against Father, which is a typically not a great matchup for Beryl. So this should be a very informative video indeed. Butter, is there anything you'd like to say before we hit the play button and get on this?
I don't believe so.
All right, sick. So we're going to get right into it. I believe we didn't actually know who went first right out of the gate. Okay, Father went first. Butter, you have a high ally opening hand here. 4 of the 7 1-costers, which is quite interesting.
Might have been a good hand after I got some of the kings out.
Yeah, gotta focus on them. Going second as Queen Beryl is pretty nice because it means you can get a king out immediately, correct?
Yeah, so my first turn is probably just going to be grabbing it, being Jadeite, and playing it to the second location.
And your opponent has already made a grievous error by getting mannequin soldiers on Promise Day, so I don't know what Lark was thinking with that one. Oh, I remember this. You accidentally hit deal when we were recording this, and actually the next card you were going to draw was the king you wanted anyway, which was very funny.
And you're going to see me forget to lower my power for a second, but we do fix that.
Yes, when we do games like these, when testing and all, we do things a little out of order. So if you see something that was like that, he did that in a weird ordering, it's because we don't pay too much attention to that sort of thing while testing and all. So you did grab Jadeite first, and also you discarded 2 of your allies of your 4 that you had there. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Hey, first, we'll just mention Jadeite. Jadeite is the hardest one for the opponent to stop, so it's usually what you want to get first to try to force some power out. As for discarding the allies, at this point, I am looking for more of the murdery cards like Ultimate Attack, Go Now, and DD Girls, so really I'm digging through my deck for those cards and kind of keep them in my hand. Vina's a very key one in case he Fire Souls, and Bunbo is a way to do that searching, even though you're probably going to see me discard Vina later.
Right, so you're just kind of keeping Vina because she could come in handy really early, but if it doesn't happen soon, then you'll ditch her anyway.
Absolutely.
Sort of. And as he was saying with Jadeite, we typically go for Jadeite first because it takes 2 heroes to stop Jadeite from putting down power. So no matter what, Butter is going to get a net gain of 1 power next turn. I'm pretty sure no matter what fate comes out. I don't think there's a fate that can stop him from gaining at least 1 power.
I think the only one would be Luna and Artemis.
Right, Luna and Artemis move him to where they're blocking the 1 position. Yeah, because Luna and Artemis would play Fire Soul. I think that's the only way. We're gonna see
a Sailor Moon, which is going to be a pain for a bit.
Yeah, Sailor Moon on the top fate is not a good time. Difficult to kill, and gonna be blocking that for a bit. Realize that you had 1 more power than you should, and then we're gonna see you gain 2 thanks to Jadeite and get Nephrite out. Putting them, I see you guys do this a lot, stacking Nephrite and Jadeite together. It hits 3 locations for a sweep of 4 power.
Yeah.
Pretty
As we mentioned for Jadeite, a lot of this is trying to make sure your opponent can stop you as little as possible.
Yes, very important as Beryl to make sure that you get the biggest spread of power you can, because at the end of the day, you're really just trying to get to technically 40 power, but really like 34, 35 because of how Silver Crystal works. So every turn you get at least 1 more power gain is a huge deal. I mean, it's the crux of the character, basically.
Their entire gameplay is that.
Umber Circle for 4 always hurts.
Yeah. You could have gave Truth, which would have also lost him 4, which might have been the correct play.
It could be. I see going for Umbra Circle because it gives him a little more leeway with the Gate of Truth, especially against a player like Lark. Lark would live with Gate of Truth for a turn or two to use power for something else, I feel like.
Yeah. Especially seeing his hand now, I see that Pride there. That would have been so much worse for me if he could have just got Pride.
If he could have played
easy.
Pride, yeah.
He had
ended up being
Gluttony
the right
anyway,
call.
which is also annoying, but still.
Yeah. But you've got a pretty good bit of early Fate pressure going, and
I
that's
believe I grabbed Nephrite here.
You have Nephrite. Zoisite, yeah. You've got Nephrite. He's out.
Right, I was thinking Kunzite.
Kunzite. Dude, all these ites, why did... Always gotta have complicated names, this Lark.
Right.
It's his fault that Sailor Moon was written this way.
And I'm probably going to play Bunbo, try to get some Zoisite value, or maybe set up a Moon kill. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Bunbo is probably one of the best ones here because he lets you look at those top 6 cards and discard them. Really important for digging, because what you really want right now is the Dark Crystal, right?
Yeah, what I'm also really looking for DD girls.
Right, to kill Moon.
Yeah.
Which is why you're...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You might be noticing me actually getting rid of Fine Human Energy. Hi, DD girls.
Exactly what you wanted. But yeah, discarding Fine Human Energy, good card, but like you said, you really want DD girls now. You're going to want that Dark Crystal soon, so using Bunbo to just discard as hard as possible is very important, especially against an opponent like Father. You do not want to lose the Fate pressure for too long, and that's what Sailor Moon is really doing right now.
Some people might have noticed I discarded 5 cards from that Bunbo, so DD girls was seen during Bunbo.
Yes, he saw exactly what he wanted. Still discarded hard to presumably for Dark Crystal or some other stuff.
Dark Crystal, Ultimate Attack, Go Now. Those are the key cards that just help me out here.
Basically, Butter is really looking for territory control tools more than anything else. Instead of worrying about trying to build up his power faster, he's wanting to get as many cards as he can that, first of all, makes Dark Kingdom not the worst location of all time, but also by giving it a play card, but also just being able to deal with these sailors now that Lark is starting to get some Fate pressure back as he's killed Scar and he's gotten more allies out. So it's important that he is ready to deal with even more Fates as they come.
The less heroes that are out, the better for me.
That is Queen Beryl in a nutshell. Most characters, but especially Queen Beryl in a nutshell. Did you see Lark almost shuffle Ling Yao back in? He was trying to use Ling Yao's ability wrong there. Can you believe that guy?
Yeah. Shortcutting the actual spending of the power here for DD, but use their ability to set up a good Venus kill.
Again, you might see some, like, how did the power shake out that way? We don't always do things in order when we're testing and doing other such things, just because that's the kind of people we are. We're scum.
And there you saw me get rid of Vina because I've held on to it too long and I'm looking for other stuff.
Lark making another classic misplay here.
This isn't going to be... It seems bad, but I do remember it does work out.
I mean, his mannequins are just waiting to either A, protect Central City, or B, help start a war with the whatchamacallit card, Philosopher's Stone. There's the cats.
Or you might be able to do some stuff with Lust later.
Also true, Lust to just recoup a lot of lost power.
If I correctly, he is going to Crescent Beam Venus to make it so I can't use DD girls to kill her.
I think you're right, that sounds familiar. Sure enough. Buffing up Venus so that now she's out of range of the DD girls, which is a bit of a problem for Butter. He's going to need to do something to fix that.
For now, I'm just going to take some time to Fate. I think I remember what I do.
We'll find out here in a second. It's almost, chat, it's almost like you're witnessing the game for the first time along with us, because sometimes we just forget.
This game wasn't played yesterday.
The game was not. Oh, there's Edward with his arm, even. Yeah, so this is not a fun time for Lark. Obviously, playing Edward as far away from Envy as possible.
And I try to... try to lower his ability to gain power, move stuff in, and vanquish, because I want Edward to live as long as possible.
A good rule of thumb for Father. Edward alive as long as possible helps.
Try to get rid of Lay the Bait soon. I also don't play that card very often, even though it is good with a heavy territory.
Yeah, it'd be 0 for 2 here, which isn't too bad. I'm pretty sure it might not be here. I remember you playing a Lay the Bait at some point in this game.
I probably play it for 0 a couple of times.
I think Lark is taking a minute for his turn. I'm going to skip his head a little bit. He's going to hit you with another Fate, and that's going to be another hero, probably. Get Jupiter out there, mess with your power gain even more, stopping the gain 2 from Nephrite, messing with your hand size, which, as we've seen with the amount of digging that Butter has been doing, hand size loss is not fun.
Oh, do I actually do it now? Yep, I go now to move Bunbo.
I forgot that you did that in this game. That upsets me. So you're go-nowing Bunbo so that the DD girls can kill Venus, because the DD girls will still be strong enough to then kill Jupiter.
Yep.
On a following turn. And then you cheated by drawing 1 too many cards with Jupiter out, as we're
going to see that happen a good bit, I believe.
Chat, you would not believe how often, anytime we play a character that lowers hand size, we forget about it. It's all of QA. We all do it. There's that Lust play you were talking about.
Yeah, so that's actually going to be very good for him. He's going to get quite a bit of power on that. Hopefully I'll be able to get an Umbra Circle when he can do that.
Indeed. This is also another moment, if you're like, why is Lark looking in his deck? This is a case of, to save ourselves time, because this isn't an actual competitive match, we look ahead on stuff.
He's not going to play it. He's going to try to promise instead.
Yeah,
he gets it anyway.
Yeah, Lark, I think he checked and it was guaranteed, or nearly guaranteed. So that's why Lark was doing that quick check.
Yeah, I think he was looking to get either Wrath or Pride instead.
Probably. I think this turn, yeah, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, because that's a turn where we had to do some Lust math, and it just took a second for Lark to figure out how he was killing everything. And then we're going to see you go over to Dark Kingdom and immediately take advantage of that Vanquish, and letting DD girls go now because you've cleaned your territory, and also they would be way too weak at that point.
Yeah, at this point, I believe I even know what my next fate is. I think it is Bubble Spray Mercury.
I believe you're right. Those are... I don't think we've seen Mars yet. I think you have 2 fates left. Bubble Spray, Mercury, Mars, and something else? Fire Soul?
That sounds like a nightmare if that's true.
It's something along those lines. Bad time for the stone, but at least it wasn't a mannequin soldier. So now you can see that Butter has over
You were
time...
right.
I'm so smart. Butter has done incredibly well at clearing out his territory, and Lark's not happy about that, so he's trying to put more pressure on, but Butter has cleaved through the majority of heroes, and that's making it hard for Lark to kind of get momentum here on really slowing down Butter in any reasonable way.
This might be when I'm finally getting Kunzite. Yep.
It's about that time.
I'm probably setting up a Mars kill using Kunzite here. Yep.
All 4 kings are out.
Hey, there we lay the bait.
He laid the bait, this guy. Oh, you have the best rainbow ally in your hand now, Bakeen.
Bakeen is amazing to get back either Go Now or Ultimate Attacks. Which you're probably going to see me use Ultimate Attack next turn.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of Ultimate Attack, usually we try not to hold cards for too long when playing Villainous. It's usually good to keep momentum going. But you've kept these Ultimate Attacks knowing that Mercury is coming up and that it could even be useful on a reshuffle, presumably. But for Beryl, whose main thing is just keeping heroes out of the way so that the kings are doing their job, it's a card that you probably want to hold on to and, despite its high cost, be willing to use, right?
Yeah. Its cost doesn't actually matter too much to Beryl. Oh, And since Beryl's actual game plan is to wait a certain amount of turns, you can take the time to hold key cards in your hand when you shouldn't with other villains.
She's a little bit of an exception, you might say, to like the, don't hold cards too long, because that's advice you get a lot. Don't hold cards for too long if you're not going to be playing them. But because of how Beryl is made, she's one of the villains you can actually kind of get away with doing that and it work out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see you ultimate attack Mars here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Thanks to Kunzite, instead of having to use Kunzite.
I'm going to kill both Luna and Mars on the next turn.
Those poor kitties. They've just been trying their best. Doing all that they can. Lark is taking a very risky promise day. Yeah, I was about to say, it's a risky promise day here because he just got Alphonsed.
It's because he puts it to the stone's location, it is a 1-for-1, and he can clear quite a few cards in his deck.
Very true.
It was hope for something better, obviously.
Of course.
And that's a whiff.
Miss on healing escalation is great. We still had a Miracle Romance in healing escalation.
Apparently, now it's the thing I said earlier.
Now, yeah, you got a little ahead of yourself. Look at this guy trying to skip ahead in the video.
Yeah. Miracle Romance is not a card your opponent wants to be forced to play.
It's definitely one of those cards that's like, you can't have every card in the Fate deck be killer every time, otherwise the villain is miserable to play as. Miracle Romance is that card for Queen Beryl.
And now this is where my game plan changes a lot, because now I'm out of the early game slog that Beryl can get for a bit.
You have all your
kings.
And
now I'm just chugging along.
You have all of your kings. You're at 10 power now. It's a really good position. You finally got the Dark Crystal, so the Dark Kingdom has just become a much more attractive location. We're going to see.
I should have held Ricky there in order to get Zoysight on, but
yeah, I could see that.
The next turn might be that lay the bait for 0 turn I mentioned.
You don't have really anything else in your hand to play, so,
Yeah, and at this point, now that I'm in a clear territory Beryl, I want to be fading whenever I can.
Yeah, keep the pressure up.
And here we see our first Starter War.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about how Lark got that Starter War, because it makes me kind of mad. Did you see him, pay 9 for that on one Mannequin Soldier?
Sometimes it's just what you have to do. Yep, I did the thing I said.
Zero cost lay the bait. There it is. It gets the job done.
Which I think next fade he plays Mercury, and I'm just going to immediately alt attack it. Or I might do that.
Or you might play the card you need to win that you just drew. That is possible. It's 6 cost right now, which isn't too bad.
Well, you should never be afraid to play Silver Crystal. You shouldn't wait on it, really.
Yeah. The sooner it's done and out of your way, the easier, because then you just have to hit 30 and you're set.
What cost is playing the allies truly going to reduce? They cost 1. The Silver Crystal only reduces it by 1.
Yeah, it's a net 0 gain, assuming they don't even get healing escalations, in which case it doesn't do that. This game, we really did have Mars plus Fire Soul in a Fate, and Mercury plus Bubble Spray in a Fate, didn't we? I think he also pulled Jupiter Supreme Thunder, didn't he?
He might have. I think I actually go 3rd location here. Do both alt attack and silver. Yep. That's the opposite direction, person.
Butter once again cheating, as we often see. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get Silver Crystal out, and again, the longer Beryl has a completely clean territory, the better. So alt attacking, even at the cost of 4 here, is worth it.
Yeah.
Especially with Lark.
I'm going to get more than 4 power off of that Kunzite anyway. Not Kunzite, Nephrite.
Absolutely. Especially with Lark being Fate locked right now.
Yeah. He's able to kill Scars. but I'm just gonna Fate. And find new energy for a bit of extra power. Discard pretty much everything. Might keep Go. Yeah, keep Go.
Makes sense. Having Go now gives you the freedom to be able to just use use one of these kings in a sudden vanquish if you feel you need to.
Yeah.
But also, you definitely want to do some...
I don't think we've seen it used yet, but boy, can Go now do some work.
It can be a very important card.
Yeah, at this point, using Alphonse, I'd be able to tell you what that Father's hand is right now if I paid attention. Which we can even see what it is, honestly. Which is a pretty scary hand, honestly. But care more about the reshuffle part.
Yeah, once again, shutting down Promise Day. The Alphonse timing has been nice for you this game.
Ominous Sunspots is an interesting card. You kind of have to know what matchups to play it. It can also be a decent dead card. Father is not one of those matchups.
I was about to say Father isn't one of them, like, at all. If Father gets to Showdown, 5 extra power is probably not going to save you.
If he's entering Showdown, you probably lost.
More than likely. It would have to be a really weird Father setup for it not to be game. Seeing Mars get back out here, he's just going for the hero that can't be immediately killed without causing you some strife, at least.
Yeah.
And of course, you are immediately going to pay a weakener.
If he does anywhere else, I have the movement and the top vanquish, so there's probably some tricks I'd have there. And he's also trying to stem the power gain as much as possible. In the next turn, I'm probably ult attacking her, thanks to Kunzite.
Kunzite, despite being the only one that doesn't give power, just incredibly important for getting those 4 strengthers into ultimate attack or even the strength of a king range for being killed.
Oh, I'm Go now. Hey, we finally get to see it.
Well, it's 2 power cheaper, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can keep the ult attack to hit Jupiter or Tuxedo Mask at any locations if they come out, so that makes a lot of sense.
Or Luna and Artemis if I really want to.
If you're that desperate to kill the cats, you can do that.
I don't remember if I do this game, but I might.
Don't tempt me.
I've done it before. Going to cheat step and saying he promised.
That sounds like him. Realizing that playing human energy was a fool's errand. Yeah. I hate that card.
Another miracle.
Yeah, I mean, he has to miracle here, so.
Yeah, no heroes to bubble.
This is a fate that Beryl loves to see and is fairly, like, probable. I mean...
A lot of times you're hoping to get those double effect turns, and hopefully one of those effects not be Fire Soul.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's the ideal one, a bubble spray hero out, because it's a dead fate, but, like, the majority of the effects with Miracle Romance is a good one for Beryl to see. Anytime a hero that she doesn't have to then kill or stemmies any amount of power gain is a good fate for her, more or less.
And we're seeing now I'm in the perfect situation of I'm getting max power from everything each turn. Because now I have 1-cost allies out to use Oystite's effect.
Choosing to put ultimate attack into your hand so that you are just ready to deal with anything that shows up.
Yep.
Do you think there's a world where you could have selected Go Now again there, since you already had an ultimate attack in hand, or were you set on ultimate attack?
There was a world, but ultimate attack is more versatile because it doesn't force him to put... It doesn't only work if you put a location with a king, and it does not force me to be to a vanquish spot when I do it.
That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah. There goes Hohenheim.
Hohenheim, not him. He was doing his best.
Some power because of lust.
Oh, I remember this turn.
So he's doing it again.
Yeah, Lark forgot that mannequin soldiers had an ability and realized that he didn't have to use lust.
They're very easy ability to forget.
It's not often you remember that mannequin soldiers can, like, actually do something in a game.
5 cost of war.
Yeah, this is, Father's had to deal with a lot of fates because of Butter's incredible territory control as Beryl this game, but even still, Father is a character and is chugging along. He's halfway to his objective with a couple of allies and items in play and decent power and whatnot. So this is still, you know, Butter, you've got to stay on your toes in this game. This is definitely still losable.
But there's second Edward, which is going to hurt him a lot.
There might be nothing Father hates more.
Oh, absolutely. This is right after he killed Hohenheim, too. Because at this point, I need to keep up this fate pressure, and doing stuff like hitting Edward out, perfect.
Yeah, Beryl is a very, very inevitable character, so just letting his Butter letting his power stock Pride at the perfect time. Letting his power just stock heavily as he keeps as much pressure on his opponent as possible is exactly what Butter is wanting to do right now. He doesn't need to try and rush to his goal because he is really more inevitable than Father is at the moment.
For those curious on why he played Venus over Moon, even though Moon is bigger, it's because there's a chance I could just play Super Beryl before and just Moon was just going to disappear because it's a find and play.
Yeah, basically Moon is going to be played for him probably in the anywhere from like 2 to 4 turns from now, so it just makes more sense to throw out a hero and then let Butter force the Moon play himself. Playing Sailor Moon early is good because she's 5 and difficult to deal with, but when you're really close to the Super Beryl moment, it's probably better to pass her up for just about any other hero you get, really, right?
Yeah. You did see me play Gigi there in order to kill her, which might have been a reason not to do him. But it's usually a good idea to pass on Moon in the later game.
Yeah. Also, Butter, once again, like, it is basically more or less his win condition at this point, is to just spam killing heroes as soon as they come out and keep up his fate pressure so that Father can't get his footing back. Although, in classic Father fashion, Pride is in play, so he's getting his footing back regardless, slowly but surely.
Yeah. Also, we saw there Lark remembering the Mannequin Soldier's ability again.
To think that Mannequin Soldier's ability came into play twice in this game.
They sometimes matter.
I do love your 8 and 8 power here when you need 10 power. I'm a big fan of that. Just 2 shy. 3 shy. That's what I said. 3 shy.
Yeah, playing Bunbo here, mostly try to get some more murder cards. And most importantly, at least set up a spot so no matter where he puts Moon, Moon's not in a good position.
Yeah, you've got your allies laid out in such a nice way now that with move actions and whatnot, there's nowhere truly safe for Lark to push.
Especially if I saw a DD girl on top with Bunbo.
Exactly. So really, Bunbo probably one of the most important of your allies, whether in the late game or the early game. Getting to just go through 6 cards and decide if you want them or not is incredibly valuable because, as Butter was saying, he was looking for more kill cards like DD girls and whatnot. He's about to enter Showdown, so really, like, cards like Lay the Bait, Find Human Energy, etc., he doesn't want any of that. So all of that can just go straight into his discard so that he has the ideal late-game hands.
I think at this point we're in discussion on how he was shuffling cards in. It was with Throne.
Yeah, that was our bad. That time, I think it was us that forgot how the character works. And then he immediately forgot about Gate of Truth and accidentally put a True Alchemy back into his deck.
Yep.
We promise we're all very good and professional at this game. Miracle Romance is not enough, so I think Lark is realizing as he was taking away that power that Miracle Romance actually won't take you out of Super Beryl, so there's really 0 point in playing it, but he did anyway.
He's doing it anyway, because no matter what, I can get rid of
Yeah, it's dead either way. He would be able to get rid of In the Name of the Moon immediately. He would be able to get rid of Miracle Romance's effect immediately.
Use my ability to find Super Beryl, play it. He is forced to play Silver Crystal, and I think at this point, Lark pretty much surrenders because I can kill her no matter what.
Yeah, there's nowhere really safe to put her down. And I don't... With Lark having just faded, yeah, he's fate-locked, so that is going to be the game.
That's probably the safest, even though it has a Kunzite there. Because I do need an absolutely insane hand to get the kill here of Dome of Darkness and Alt Attack. As we can see, I have that insane hand.
Again, that Bumbo and whatnot, just really digging down, makes a huge difference to put you in better positions like that.
Yeah. The two best ones is Bumbo, for as you said, especially because as a character not discarding a lot. And the other one is the cat, Baki, or however you say that, because you can just find any tool.
Yes, those are like the two most important. Rika Kadar also pretty good for that same like digging and getting to the cards you need with the draw.
Yeah, that draw too is never bad, even though you always think it's going to be bad.
Who could have thought that having more options in your hand would be helpful?
It doesn't seem fancy, but turns out it is.
It gets the job done.
And I do think Lark gets his third token here before I win the game.
He does. This was still, like, even with the crazy amount of fate pressure you put on, he was not far off.
And I think we have the moment of, wait, can I win this turn? Oh, I can.
Dome of Darkness for the win. So Dome of Darkness plus Kunzite gets her just down to 6. Ultimate attack for a total 6 class strength. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. I'm just going to pause the video there.
You might have been argue Lark should have put it somewhere else because he don't went with Kunzite. But if he put it anywhere else, I had DD Girl kill.
Yeah, it was game no matter what. I'm pretty sure... I think anywhere it wasn't even DD Girls, right? With this board state, any of the other 3 locations and ally play plus a move and vanquish at the far left, that's game.
Oh yeah, he had no chance.
Yeah, his only hope was that you
somehow uncover that top fate, which he couldn't.
He knew for sure that you had an ultimate attack, but he just had to hope you didn't have the dome, but you did, so.
Yeah.
But incredible
Sometimes
game.
You just have it.
Incredible game. You sometimes you do just have it, but you also did everything you needed to put yourself in that position to have it with Bunbo, discarding, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. Really good Queen Beryl game. Butter, you're the one who played it. Is there anything specific that you really want to get across here before we wrap up?
Beryl's entire gameplay is keeping the territory clear.
That is basically what it comes down to. Beryl is a super inevitable character. Get your kings out fast, and then just don't let heroes be around. Do whatever you have to, no matter how much power it may take away from you, like with ultimate attacks and stuff like that. I feel like that might be where some people are getting hung up on Beryl. I don't play much Beryl, but when I've looked at her before and when I've seen you guys play, I'm like, ultimate attack costs 4. You guys have to get to 30. Why are you throwing out so much power? But as I've seen you playing more, I understand now. You'll get back that 4 power for the exchange of killing whoever you kill. Same thing with losing power to Kunzite, losing power to the DD Girl's ability. The thing that matters most is just making sure your territory is clear so you can keep up fate pressure and your kings keep adding power. You'll recoup the losses, undoubtedly. And you
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you did also... you basically played that game where I remember you telling me when we were playing this game originally, you basically... Maybe not for the first half of the game, but for like from the start of the game to a certain point, your only focus, other than playing the kings, obviously, was get kill cards, kill things as they show up. And then at a certain point, you can start to... You always keep that mentality as Beryl, but at a certain point, you start to be like, okay, now I can start looking at getting to 30 and winning the game, right?
Yeah. The early game is trying to get your engine rolling. Once you have a nice clear territory with all the kings out and hopefully the crystal, then the plan is I'm playing tower defense. I'm waiting for the power to stock up.
Tower defense, I love that. We've done that with like Beryl and Gendo are both kind of like tower defense characters. How did we do that?
That's just how it worked out.
It's just how it went. But yeah, so for all of you watching, hopefully this was very informative for you to give you a better idea maybe of how to play as Queen Beryl at a high level, to give you some ideas yourself when playing. If you have any other questions or anything you'd like to ask, leave some comments. I'll notice them, and I'll either know the answer or I'll pester Butter until he tells me the answer and relay his information to you. But if you don't have anything else to say, Butter, I think we can wrap up and get on out of here.
Yeah.
Be sure to check the description as well if you'd like to join the Anime Villainous Discord server to play with other people, get into competitive games and tournaments and all. Check that out. We will have more How to Compete videos coming in the future. We're going to do at least a couple of them, and, let us know if you found this helpful, if you liked this video, and we might just end up doing it for all of the characters. It depends on if the community finds them helpful or not, so please let us know if you did. And we will see you in the future for more Anime Villainous videos. Until then, farewell.